for starters, you met Mark Zuckerberg for the first time in July.
Yes.
11 weeks later, you two guys are on Oprah announcing that he's giving $100 million. How did you do this?
Well, I don't think it was me. I think the two of us were coming to the same conclusion at the same time, and we met at the right time. He had been thinking about making a major move in philanthropy for more than a year, which was, why wait? I should get out there quick, and I should find a way around the issue that's most important to me, which is education, to make a different kind of impact. And I met him at a time that we had concluded that if we were going to drive the level and scale of reforms that we had envisioned, we were going to need some kind of attention-grabbing measure, as well as, frankly, a shot of resources into the right places. We felt like applied to the right places, it could make dramatic change. So it was two men with the same idea meeting up.
So now you're going to have a lot of money for use in the Newark schools. As you know better than anybody, Newark already spends more money per student than most schools in America, with worse results. How will you redesign the system to make this money effective?
Well, I think that's a really important point to highlight and bold and put a couple exclamation points. Money in America has never been in line with performance, and our national spending on education is going up, but our performance has been stagnant. And so what is needed is not pouring, as they say, new wine into old skins. It's to find a way to change the package altogether. And so we have some very firm ideas, and I say we, I think the donor and myself. But the first thing we recognize is that one of the things that's happened in America is we've all sort of receded from our involvement in education. There is not the kind of American engagement around educational issues that we want. We almost think that we should sort of put our kids up, we have to pack their lunch, and we send them off, and then they should be returned to us scholars. And that's just not the case anymore. And we've created this convenient game of pass the buck, where parents are right to complain about the schools. Principals are right maybe to say they can't fire bad teachers. Teachers are right to say our kids are showing up often nutritionally unfit to learn, materially unfit to learn. So the more it's able to say, well, it's not my fault, it's the next person next to me, the more you keep this descending cycle of mediocrity at best. And that's what we're trying to break with our resources.
So how do you do it? Because, I've heard all of these things. I've talked to teachers, administrators, parents, and they all say exactly what you're relating. How do you break the cycle?
Well, really a few things. So first we're going to start with the most robust community engagement effort I think the country's seen, where we're literally going to be going out, we're planning this now, and engaging tens of thousands of residents. We're going to probably be carrying around pledge forms that we want parents to sign and that we want others to sign that say, what are you willing to do different this year than you did last year so that we can move our education system forward? We want everybody to be invited to be at the table to offer their voice and really define what the community standards are. For Newark and our nation, we have to admit that we're not meeting our national standards, what the average American would say we should be getting out of our education system. So we think that's going to be a powerful process that's going to create a foundation for radical reform. Because once people understand that, our principal contracts call for 28, 29 hours of work, once people understand that how impossible it is to fire a bad teacher, once people understand that you have charter schools that have failed year after year after year that are remaining open, despite the fact that they should be schools of accountability. I think that people, once they realize what's going on and what our principles are, a lot of change becomes very obvious. And I hate to tell you this, it's actually not that complicated as people often make American education out. We all know what the good schools are and many of the qualities in them, and we know what some of the failing schools are and what the things we want to avoid are.
Well, you have them both in Newark.
Yes.
This is an amazing thing. You've got Central High School where the results are awful. You've got a charter school, the Robert Treat School, that is unbelievably great.
Yes.
How can you get more of the latter?
And that's every city, by the way. We all have, in America, in all of our urban schools, there are always these peaks and these valleys. And the question is how do we rise everybody to those peaks of attainment? And so, I mean, there's a lot of strategies to get there. So one is, whether it's a magnet school, a charter school, what have you, we've got to expand those islands of excellence. And then the other schools, there's got to be a lot of things done, I think, either hold them accountability, and accountability has clear standards, ways of measuring progress to the standards, and most importantly, consequences for failure. I mean, that's the challenge in American education and government in general, is businesses have consequences for failure, but the government doesn't often. And you could fail time and time again, and often you can get more money as you fail. So we've got to create systems of accountability within our public school system that drive success, reward success, cultivate success, and then do not allow failure to be as rampant as it is right now.